Do you ever dream about being a month ahead on your bills, about not having to think about paying anything for 30 days? That sounds like a dream for many people, and I can totally relate. Being 30 days ahead on your bills sounds extreme. And I know I used to say excuses like, I can't work any more overtime. I deserve to have a little bit of fun on the weekends. What worked for me was, what if I changed my mindset to like, how could I get ahead by 1 month? And then what would the security feel like? Is that going to be better feeling than treating myself for a couple weekends? So today I just kind of want to guide you through the process that I used. It's probably not the only process to get 1 month ahead, but this is what worked for me, and maybe it'll work for you too. The tool that I used, and this is just my own basic budget tool. So I did a different category here for all of my expenses. And then I started out top with savings or investments and then debt payments here because I wanted these to come out first to make sure that those buckets got paid or got filled up. And so I would do a budget. Then at the end of every month, I would do the actual, how much I spent. So I would download credit card statements and categorize them according to this list here. I would write down the actuals and then just a simple difference calculation of budget minus actual. And I would talk any notes. And I just have a spreadsheet for each year with this on each tab to kind of monitor where that spending was happening, and also try to think of like, did I really need to spend so much on restaurants or entertainment or travel? Because some of those honestly give me more joy, and some of those are less meaningful to me. So, and then at the bottom here, I've got the total. So I was needing about $2,900 every month to live, or about $36,000 a year. And that's with $1,100 in a mortgage, and then car payment. I have zero. I'm pretty blessed to have a car paid off, but then auto expenses. So that's just tires and oil changes on average for me. But so I figured out what that total was, and I needed to save up $3,000 in my emergency fund to be 1 month ahead. I next had to make a time frame. How long do I want to give myself to save up $3,000? So everyone's going to have to create their own timeline for themselves. For me, I wanted to do that within 1 year. So what I was trying to do is save up about $300 per month, and that was going to get me $3,600 in the year. Realistically, I knew I was going to have a month or two of setbacks with some bigger expenses. So I was shooting for $3,000 in 1 year, and that was going to get me 1 month ahead on my bills. Once you start watching some of these things, it'll help you out and be more able to meet your goals. The next thing that I use is I opened a separate bank account. So not just like my checkings and my savings account in my normal bank, but I went to a different bank. I still 5 years later, don't even have a debit card or a checkbook to this bank. And I would just automatically wire at the start of every month $300 to that different bank. It got sucked out of my account initially. I kind of forgot about it, kind of never missed it. And then a year later, I looked in that account and I had $3,000. So I thought that was a good hack that worked for me. Then it just keeps my hand out of the cookie jar. It makes me more accountable then. Next is, this is following that same thing, but set up automatic transfers or automatic savings. Instead of waiting till the end of your month to see what's left over, that's why in this budget here, I have savings and investments and debt payments first. It set up those automatic transfers, and that really helped just kind of build that repetition, that muscle memory for me. Next, I did these like no spend challenges. And so this year, 2025, I'm doing a no buy January where I'm buying nothing that's non-essential. Also doing a no buy year where I'm trying to really bring back my frugality and my minimalism and have a no buy year where I'm just minimizing the non-essentials. And the reason I'm doing this is to try to save up after buying a car last fall, and also having a big remodel this spring. And then I also want to save up a down payment here in the next year or two. So I think do these little short sprint challenges of no buy day, a no buy week, no buy month, and you just limit the number of non-essentials that you're buying, because I think a lot of us already have really what we need. I used to pause my subscriptions, whether it's Spotify or Netflix or some other TV streaming, but pause that for a month or two or three. Maybe in the winter you leave it on, but in the summer, you want to encourage yourself to get outside more, and so you pause it during the winter. Lastly, I want to talk about negotiating some of your bills. So insurance, you can definitely negotiate. Sometimes your Wi-Fi or your phone plan you can negotiate. A lot of the subscriptions you can negotiate. I would even go out to say that with a lot of landlords, you could negotiate. If you extend the lease and you're a good tenant, if you're punching holes in the walls and late on rent, you have no negotiating power. But if you pay on time, you're taking care of the place, your landlord would probably give you a deal to extend the lease. They win because they don't have to flip the unit, and you win because you get cheaper rent. And then other things, if you're hiring out lawn care, snow removal, you might be able to negotiate that. And then think about, where are you getting groceries? Is that the cheapest spot? And maybe you don't want to shop at Walmart for the rest of your life, but maybe shop at Aldi's or a discount grocer for 3 months, for 6 months, until you build up your emergency fund. So these are the things I did, all for a season. And then once I hit my goal of $3,000 in emergency fund, then I was able to be allowed to spend a little more on things that brought me value. These are some of the fundamentals that really helped me get 1 month ahead on my bills. Now I just don't have to think about paying my bills till 30 days later. And that's been a big stress relief for me. So maybe it'll help some of you. Comment down below if you learned something. Thanks.